Good afternoon. I'm Pierre Jouniaux, CEO and founder of SafetyLine. We are a startup based in Paris with a team of 18 people, a mix of aviation experts, data scientists, and IT people. Our goal is to transform aviation industry with the use of big data. And we are very happy to be here for Hello Tomorrow challenge because in a quite conservative industry like aviation, with innovation, maybe tomorrow is already today. So, as you know, aviation, the air transport is a very big contributor to CO2 emission, and those figures speak for themselves. In 15 years, there has been an increase of 87% of greenhouse emissions due to aviation, and the total emissions in the world now is 3%. Now we know that the air traffic is increasing, and within 15 years, these figures will double, if we do nothing about it, of course. I used to be an accident investigator, and I was working intensively with black box. That is a huge source of information. But right now, it has been left unexploited within the airline industry. Only 5% of those data is analyzed, and although it represents the real life of aircraft. At the same time, I had an experience of airline pilot, and I realized that it was possible with those data to improve flight efficiency. So it is rather simple, but we imagine OptiClimb with leading digital technologies like machine learning and optimization to reduce fuel use during the climb phase. Indeed, climb phase is the most fuel consuming as the engines run at their full power. And thanks to OptiClimb, we can reduce, just with OptiClimb, we can reduce those fuel during climb by up to 10%, which means it is about 100 kilograms for an aircraft like Boeing 737. So for the airline, it is really simple, as the pilots just need to input 2 speeds in the flight management system, and the autopilot will automatically fly the OptiClimb profile. So what we do is just we provide a more accurate climb profile like you see on the picture that will in fact improve the efficiency during the climb. For the airline, it's a no-brainer as it requires absolutely no new equipment, and our launch customer Transavia is already using OptiClimb during its daily flights. In fact, we are at the crossroads between digital world and aviation. And this would have not been possible without a close cooperation with leading research centers in mathematics and computing. So we work with, for example, Paris 6 University, Polytechnic, INRIA, and IFSTAR. And our goal is to accelerate the digital transformation of aviation. So this is good news for both airlines and the planet, as if all airlines would use OptiClimb during their daily operation, it would reduce the total global CO2 emissions by an amount equivalent to those of a country like Vietnam or Portugal. I want to finish by thanking a few organizations without whom we would not be here today. So there are here Starburst, the first accelerator in aviation, ClimateKick, the EU organization for climate, and Aztec, competitivity cluster in aviation. Now, next time you will board an aircraft, maybe you will reduce your own carbon footprint by flying with OptiClimb. And that's why we think today is already tomorrow. Thank you for your attention.
Well, congratulations for the talk. First, I do apologize for the question I will raise because it's coming from a large company, but okay, and maybe the answer will be painful for us. You know that within Safran, we have Safran Analytics, who is doing big data and analytics. GE, the digital company, has more or less the same with Predix, what they want to do. So how can you compete with those big players also very active in this field? And don't be too direct with us.
No, don't worry. Thanks for the question anyway. In fact, we don't want to compete. We want to bring new solutions, solutions that have not been made available by the big players, for instance, because OptiClimb is unique in a way. And we can provide agility from a startup. And we already have talked to most of the players, and we have a good, I think, it's a good ecosystem where everybody has a role to play.
Another question. So, if I remember well, my early days as a pilot, the flight is pretty much constrained by the air traffic control as well. So, how do you include them in the equation?
In fact, what the nice thing with OptiClimb is that we play in an area where there is a kind of freedom, because during climb the air traffic control cannot really act upon the aircraft because there is a lot of uncertainty. So we stay within this area, and it makes no difference. For example, Transavia is flying out of Orly with OptiClimb every day, and it was not noticed by ATC anyway. So it's also very good because we have aviation experts in the team that we can really target the good solutions.
Pierre, don't you have any resistance from group of pilots?
Yeah. Actually, we could have if we do a system that is really monitoring what the pilot is doing. They would be really maybe not really a bit reluctant. But here they are in the loop. We ask the pilot to do something where before they were doing nothing. And thanks to the pilot, we are achieving this result. And we have a very good feedback from the pilots from Transavia. Thank you very much.